Hey everybody, Jeff Reinhart here, LMP and Lancaster Online. LL League football is back. Welcome back to the Huddle podcast, sponsored this season by Auto House of Lancaster. Let's talk LL football. Here we go, 2024 season. All kinds of changes. They had a realignment for this next 2-year cycle. So a lot of teams switching sections. Section 1 remains the same, but everybody else got facelifts. Probably going to take me a little while to remember who's in which section because there's a lot of teams bouncing around for the next 2 years. Media Day last week was great. Had all the kids in here and the coaches. Had an awesome time. HEDAC done. We're in camp week now, and scrimmages are on Saturday. And then it will be week 1. And there's a lot of week 1 games. 25, I think, 26. There's a bunch Friday night and Saturday night. Everybody will play 2 games before September 1st this season. So here we go. Thought that we should kick off the podcast here this week, get the preview stuff done, get it out there. And then next week, we'll start the roundtable show. Mike and Jason will have on-site interview at a school with some kids. And then we'll do a preview of that week, the usual, and that'll start next week. Okay, I thought for this show, I would kind of zip through my section predictions. I have a prediction column coming this weekend, I think on Sunday in print and online. Be on the lookout for that. I'll kind of rip through the predictions here. I don't want to ruin it. But I hope you also read the column this weekend because that'll kind of explain my picks, and I have all kinds of notes and whatnot jammed in there. But for now, okay, I'll go through each section real quick with the picks, and I'll give you a quick nugget on each team off the top of my head. My head is bulging LL football here, and we're still in August. Okay, section 1, Manheim Township. I know they lost a lot. Hayden Johnson's gone, Landon Kendall's gone. They were fabulous, had the 12 wins, crooked numbers galore, and I know they lost in the district final to Harrisburg again, but Township had a great year. They have a ton coming back, especially up front. And on D, I like the Boo Streaks. Their schedule's great. Their non-league is unbelievable, pound for pound, the best non-league schedule in the league. So I have the Streaks on the one line. Wilson up next. Bit of a transition season, new quarterback, lost some kids up front, but it's the Bulldogs. I think they will be just fine. Week 10, Wilson at Township. Oh my. I have Hempfield next, 3-7 last year. Really wonky 2023 for Hempfield. A lot of things just did not go right for the Black Knights. Fresh start, hit the restart button. A lot of kids back. New quarterback, yes, but I think the Black Knights will be back. I see them in the lead pack here going into October. Next up, Penn Manor. I think the Comets are a sleeper team. They have a lot back. A whole lot, 16 or 17 starters coming back with a quarterback who took some snaps last year, 4 kids up front, O-line. I think Penn Manor can and should do some things. Great opener, week 1, Penn Manor at Conestoga Valley. I'll see you in Whitmer. I have Cedar Crest next. New coach, Nick Lambros comes in to coach the Falcons, knows the drill. He's been there. They lost a bunch of kids. Oh my, quarterback is back. A wide receiver is back. Long is back to anchor the lines, and he's a really good player. We'll see if Crest can muscle its way back up there again, but they're breaking in a lot of new kids. I have McCaskey next. Cintron and Jones are back. Quarterback, wideout, pitch and catch combo. They're really good. 5 kids back on the O-line, which is a great start. They didn't have to rebuild an O-line, which is never fun to do. I think McCaskey can do some things. I will see them in week 1, Saturday, week 1, in Philly at John Bartram. See you there. Enjoy that bus ride. I have Reading next in Section 1. I almost hate putting them there because they have some kids back, quarterbacks. The running back is back who rushed for 800 yards last year. Some really good O-line kids. But Reading has something to prove here. I think they're 1-11 in section games in their first 2 years back. So I know they want to do better. We'll see if Reading can start climbing the charts this year. For now, Manheim Township on the 1 line. Section 2, 3 new coaches in Section 2. This section really changed. I have Exeter on the top. They should be spitting fire here. Exeter was in first place and undefeated last year. They lose to CV. They lose to Manheim Central. Don't defend their title. Then they go to districts and led, I think, into the fourth quarter against Hershey and lost late. And Exeter has a ton back. I think they're going to be pretty good. Jaden Zandier's the kid to watch there. 1,300-yard rusher. He's tough. Conestoga Valley on the 2 line. Jaden Johnson returns. Multi-purpose athlete kid. Remember the name Sawyer Espenshade, quarterback. He's supposed to be a good one. And CV's got a lot back. Some linemen. A good kid in the secondary, and they got this Johnson who can really run and make plays. CV at Exeter in week 9. Oh my. Next up, I have Ephrata. They're back up in Section 2 for the first time since 2017. Lost a lot, I know, off a 12-win team. Shared Section 3 title. Went all the way to the 5A district championship game. Magical season for Ephrata. Plugging in some new guys, new quarterback, but they have a lot of pieces, and I think they're going to ride that mow from last year. So I kept Effort up there with the lead pack. I have Governor Mifflin next. They return a lot of kids. A couple kids up front. The quarterback is back. The fullback is back. Reese Hull is a kid to watch at Mifflin. Great athlete. Rarely comes off the field. I think Mifflin can push if they get a couple bounces here and there. They were in that Eastern Conference playoff last year. And they have a new coach, Nick Morrissey, new coach at Mifflin. They go up to 6A, so a little tougher road to hoe to make playoffs, but we'll see what Mifflin does with some kids back. I have E-Town next. Bears are back up in Section 2. They've been down in Section 3 the last couple of years. Came back to the pack a smidge last year after going to the playoffs and making a nice run. They have some kids to replace. Some linebackers, some new linebackers they got to plug in. Brady Moran will be a kid to watch there, running back type. He should have the ball a lot. New digs at E-Town. Thompson Field got a new fresh look, turf, field house. Anxious to get to E-Town and see what that looks like. We'll see if they can use that to their advantage. I have Muhlenberg next. Mules have a new coach, Rob Flowers, former Boone coach, former Reading coach. He's now at his alma mater, coaching the Mules. Kind of a fresh start. A lot of new kids, new quarterback. They got a couple transfers. We shall see. Keep your fingers crossed with Muhlenberg. My favorite Muhlenberg nugget. Flowers has 16 assistant coaches, which is a lot, including and I love this, a director of yoga. They have a yoga coach at Muhlenberg, which is just so great. I have Lebanon there at 7, new coach, Tyler Pritchett. Welcome aboard. Trying to snap a 32-game losing streak and kind of starting over, new coach, new schemes, a lot of new kids. Man, we'll see if Lebanon can snap this skid. They have not won a football game since 2020 in the COVID season. Wow. I'm going to stick Exeter up top there. Bullseye Eagles. Okay, Section 3, totally new look here. This is like the old LL Section 2. 5 of the 7 teams here are Lancaster County teams. This race should be great. Just so many rivalries. I think this one goes to week 10. I have Mannheim Central at the top. Why? They lost all those great kids. I know, but the Barons bring back 4 guys up front, O-line, including Tyler Groff, who's a great leader, and they're going to be really good defensively. Doherty and Roll-On at linebacker are really, really good kids. So whereas the last year or two, Central has won 49-7, I think, or 56-6. I think they win closer games this year, 28-14, 35. I don't think they're going to go and score 50 every night because they have some new offensive kids to plug in. But love Central up front, love Central defensively. Barons. I have Cocalico next. Back-to-back reigning District 5A champs. Lost 20 seniors off that team last year, including 10 all-stars, double-digit all-star kids. Josh Myers back to pilot the flex bone triple option attack. They had an injury this summer. I was sorry to see that. It's Cocalico. Great opener against E-Town in week 1. We'll see if the Eagles can get off to a quick start. Tricky Section 3 schedule, and then we'll see how they handle 5A, which also features Mannheim Central, Bishop McDevitt, Ephrata, and Exeter. Wow. I have Garden Spot next. They have a ton of kids back. Jace Conrad, Trenton Huber are back to play wideout. They're both all-star kids. Cullen Whitmer, hopefully healthy, returns to spark the defense. A.J. Hurst, come on down. He's the new QB, replacing Kai Harding, who was just spectacular the last couple of years as a dual threat kid. Garden Spot can do some things, but this Section 3 schedule is going to be really tough. I have Warwick next. They have some kids back. They'll have a new quarterback. Hirsch is a kid off the edge that you want to keep an eye on. I think Warwick can do some things. This section was really hard to predict because all these teams are pretty good, and they're going to get great games playing old rivals. So anything can happen in those games. I have Solanco next. Johnny Garcia's back, the fullback, 1,300-yard rusher. They got some O-line kids back. And Solanco up front, they love to beat you up and win the trenches. If they do that, watch out for the Mules. Seriously. Conrad Weiser, I have next. 18 starters back for the Scouts. 18. This is going to be one of their deepest teams when they hit the field in week 1. Gingrich's back to play quarterback with some weapons around him. Riddle at wideout. Weiser has the weapons to be really good. I'm just anxious to see how they handle this section with all these Lancaster County powerhouse teams ahead of them, but keep an eye on Weiser. And then I have Fleetwood last, and I hate putting the Tigers there because they won an Eastern Conference playoff game last year, and they have a really good nucleus coming back, including some line kids. Tristan McFarland, athlete, might take snaps at quarterback. Fleetwood could be tricky, but that race is going to be tough. I have Mannheim Central on the 1 line for now. Bullseye Barons. But every week's going to be just a slugfest with that race. Section 3 is going to be great. Section 4, smidge top heavy, but again should be a good race, especially here at the top. I have Twin Valley at the top. 9 all-stars returning. Evan Myers is back at quarterback. Drew Engel, 1,600-yard rusher last year, returns. Evan Johnson, 1,000-yard rusher, returns. Eris Drake up front, O-line. He's going to Navy. Speed on the flanks. Lucas Myers is back, linebacker kid who was just going to chase you everywhere. Twin Valley's got a ton of weapons. I put him on the 1 line for this reason. I have YO number 2. YO at Twin Valley in week 8. I think if the Raiders can defend home field in Elverson, I think they got a great chance. And they have a cool non-league game against Selinsgrove, which is really good, coming up in week 2, I think. So I'll put Twin Valley there with all those kids coming back. I have YO on the 2 line. Wyo's got a ton back, a new quarterback, I know, but they have an Eisenhower and they have a Nadrowski and Justice Hardy's back for his sophomore year, and he's amazing. Great week one game. Great week one game. Southern Columbia, 7-time reigning state champ at Wyomissing, Saturday, week one. That's going to be awesome. I have LS next. Pioneers should be good up front. Iron Pioneers, 3 starters back on the line. Keep an eye on Caleb House. He'll play quarterback this year. Tough runner and a safety. We'll see. Those YO and Twin Valley games are late, I want to say. Like the last 3 weeks, it should come down to stretch drive to decide this section. I have Elko next. They got to replace Jake Williams, 2,400-yard rusher last year. Wow. But they have kids back. Paul Williams and another Williams line kid can blitz off the edge. Brady Stoops can bring it off the edge. They have some guys back up front. Got to find a feature running back. But I think Elko can challenge and make another playoff run. Look out for them. I have Donegal next, new quarterback, but some guys back up front, some skill kids that have played on a Friday night, and their non-league is kind of gettable. They're playing 3 teams out of the chute that had rough years in 23. We'll see if Donegal can get a good start, because once the section starts, that's going to get trickier. Northern Lebanon, I have next. They're up from Section 5, new section for the Vikes. Quarterback is back, running back is back, 3 wideouts are back, a couple of O-linemen are back. I think Northern Lebanon can make some noise here. I know the section's going to be tricky, but if they get a good start in non-league, look out for the Vikes. I have Daniel Boone next. Hayden Moyer goes from running back to quarterback. That'll be a new look. Blazers kind of move some kids around. He's going to go from receiver to running back. He's going to go from running back to receiver. A lot of multi-purpose kind of kids at Boone. We'll see if they can keep pace in this section. Boone was supposed to be in Section 3, and Mannheim Central was supposed to be in Section 4, believe it or not. Barons and the Blazers flip-flopped. So Central's up in 3. Daniel Boone went to 4. I have Octorara after them. Some youngsters, a deep sophomore class, so there might be a lot of learning on the fly here for the Braves. But they have some key kids back. I think they will compete. I think they will make you earn it. And they're young, with kids in the pipeline coming. So stay tuned in at Glen. I'm going to stick with Twin Valley for now. That YO at Twin Valley game should be great in week 8. All right, lastly, Section 5. I have Schuylkill Valley on the one line. Bruce Harbach. Took them 3 years, and now they're like a legit contender. Shared the Section 5 title last year. Won a district game for the first time in school history. Wow. With a ton back. Norwalkie, Spots, Hohenadel, Lackner, Line Kids, and a really good kicker. So I'm putting the Panthers on the one line going in. I have Lancaster Catholic next. Catholic at Schuylkill Valley in week 10. Don't be surprised if that's for the section title again. Catholic, Stefano returns at quarterback. Way returns out of the backfield. Great kid in the secondary and returns kicks. He's a handful. 3-way all-star last year. Catholic's got some kids back up front. Charlie Warren is another kid to watch. He's a specimen. I think Catholic can be there in week 10 for that game at Schuylkill Valley. I have Hamburg next. I think they're going to be a really tough out. Tyler Shuey, 2,700-yard passer last year with 3 wideouts back, 3 running backs back. I think Hamburg's going to be a problem. Keep an eye on the Hawks. I have Anvil Cleona next. They lost their quarterback in summer drills, and Anvil, they run the ball. So it looks like they may take their fullback kid and their jack-of-all-trades kid and have them take snaps and go Wildcat. Some interesting looks coming out of the backfield for the Dutchman coming up. Feel bad for the kid who was hurt. So AC's got to make some changes on the fly, and I think they can still be a factor here after going to districts back-to-back years. Dutchman. I have Berks Catholic next. They're down from Section 4 with Northern Lebanon going up. New coach, some new skill kids, couple of kids up front coming back. See how they do in their new surroundings here. Rick Keeley retired after 38 years, so different look here for Berks Catholic, but the Saints could be trouble if they get off to a fast start. Look out. I have Kutztown next. They can really run the ball. Power T, Brendan Ackley, 1,000-yard rusher, is back. A couple of other backfield kids are back. Matthias is back at quarterback. They have some good kids up front, and the maturation process continues for the Cougars. We'll see how they handle this race. I have Pequay Valley after that. Braves. Sleeper team alert. Their non-league is kind of gettable. They get 3 games against 1A programs coming out of the gates. If the Braves can get a hot start and build some mo, look out. They could be a handful because PV never quits. So keep an eye on Kinzers. And then I have Columbia. Numbers are going to be a problem here for the Tide. They're going to be under 30 kids. They're going to be somewhere in the 20s. They ended last year with 16 healthy bodies on the field in Week 10. Cameron McClare's back. Breakout freshman season, 1,700 passing yards. He'll be back for his sophomore year, and we'll see how he does. Keep an eye on the roster and how many kids are on it for Columbia. And I have Schuylkill Valley on the one line. Okay. Manheim Township, Exeter, Manheim Central, Twin Valley, Schuylkill Valley, Reinhart Curse. Enjoy those bullseyes. Okay. That'll wrap up a little preview here. Wanted to come on a week early and just kind of set you up for what's coming because it's a different look this year with the section realignment. Next week, Week 1, all the usual goodies. We'll have the show on Wednesday. We'll have preview capsules. We have a nice feature coming from Penn Manor. I'll do the picks and predictions. Get you all set up for Week 1. Okay, LL League Football 2024 is here. Wow, hallelujah. It's still summer, but football's here and we're ready to go. Stay tuned for all the coverage this fall. Lancaster Online. I got the daily 3 fax posts up and going. Subscribe to our newsletter, which comes out every day, and it has links to all of our coverage. You do not want to miss that. Okay, thanks again for Auto House for jumping on for the sponsor this fall. Much obliged. I'll see you back here next week. We'll do the Wednesday podcast, starting with Week 1 next week. Jeff Reinhart here, LMP Lancaster Online. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the season. Everybody stay healthy. And we'll catch you for Week 1. Thanks.